Fellow Oraxians, hello. Commander Cyrious here. At long last, the wait is over. Connery and Emerald will merge on April 8th. That is just under 20 days away if you are watching at release. I am so excited to get back Planetside with a new, improved US server. Let's dive in. So, soldiers, it's big. It's here. Merger is confirmed. If you are a sad Connery player like myself, you have been suffering through the dark times of single lightning tanks ending the only fight on the server. The orbital strike targeting the 8-person fight. The third faction team pushed to both enemies' warp gates, not because they want to, but because no one will play with them. I have a whole folder dedicated just to this that I am deleting without use because it will no longer be necessary. So long have we waited, the time is finally here. It will be bittersweet, leaving your home, but as the heroes of Matherson and Watersons and Helios did so long ago, they went into the more fertile hunting grounds of a merged server. So we ride one last time for the final few weeks on the Connery server. Here's the rundown of events, and Euro players, don't worry. The event extends to your server as well. The first event will determine the name of the new merged servers. On the Miller server, though the merge has already happened, the event is just beginning. From March 28th to March 30th, based on the most map control captures, the winning faction will determine the new server name, those options being Excavion if you play NC, Wainwright if you play TR, and Erebus if you play VS. So since Cobalt has already been merged into Miller, the European event will only happen on the Miller server. So again, if you prefer one of those names, pick that faction, play on it, fight for victory. The wording of the winning condition is upon event completion, the faction with the most map control captures throughout the whole weekend will have the winning new server name. There is some question as to what that language means, whether that is capturing bases individually or if it's alerts. I lean towards that meaning the faction with the highest amount of alert victories will win the event. No clarification from devs yet. If I see some, though, I'll let you know. Now, on to North American servers. This will take place on 2 servers, Emerald and Connery combined. Again, wording's a little bit vague, but that's the best way I can interpret it. So Emerald NC and Connery NC are fighting for the server name Osprey. Emerald TR and Connery TR are fighting for the name Lithcor. And Emerald VS and Connery VS are fighting for the name Helios, depending on the outcome of that March 28th through March 30th event. When the servers are merged on April 8th, one of those will be the new server name. There are some consternations on the fairness of the events and some disappointment on the server name options. I want to spend just a minute on that. As someone who's been waiting for this merge for well over a year, I honestly couldn't care less. The name of the server is small potatoes compared to just having a playable game. And I was worried that they were going to lean towards just not even bother dealing with the merge before the end of the game. So the fact that they're trying to throw an event at all, I think we just have to be happy and grateful that anything is happening. Here's how the events are going to go down. The most dialed-in members of the community that are willing to put the most effort and energy into it get to pick the name they like the most. For Miller, it'll be simple. Pick the faction associated with that name and just play. The key to victory will be the off-hour fights. Who can rack up those wins when smaller groups matter a lot? Connery and Emerald will be a little bit more complex because you will have to have a strategy to keep an eye on the outcomes on the various servers. So if you want the name Osprey, for example, the NC name, and Emerald NC is having no trouble winning alerts, you may want to jump your outfit over to Connery for that event to help bolster Connery NC's victories. So there will be an interesting multi-server strategy at play here, and the outcomes will mostly be decided in individual outfit Discord conversations. So my advice to you is keep in mind it's just a server name. If you want to get in on that hype, great. It's a reason to get excited, but just don't take it too hard that you think you can throw an open platoon together and have a real impact. Now, my hope is what people decide to do is not actually care about the results and just go out and say, this event is the last hurrah of Connery. Let's just get as many of the old veteran players and outfits back, fill the server as much as we possibly can for that event, just as a send-off for the good old times, and let the chips fall where they may on the name. No matter what happens, really the right thing to do is probably just to rename it to Gemini as a throwback to Planetside 1 final NA server merge. At any rate, that event starts 1 week from the release of this video. It runs March 28th through March 30th. They do not give a start and end time. I think it's safe to assume it's going to run from 12 a.m. on the 28th through 12 p.m. on the 30th. The only problem is I can't tell you what time zone that's based in. When it was Rogue Planet Games based in San Diego, I think it would be Pacific. But now that Toadman is based in Europe, who knows? Bottom line, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. Get on and join the action. It will definitely be like the good old days. Now, secondary to this, there is one more event going on. That is the new fight on the new North American Europe server. That happens a month later. That is the end of April, where you can earn some banners that you could show off that let people know your original server, whether that's Cobalt, Miller, Emerald, or Connery. And sorry, past server merges, I don't think you get included if you are not in existence right now. Okay, I am going to provide a little FAQ. A lot of questions were coming up about this whole event and a merger in general on the subreddit. First of all, people saying, how do I keep my account? What do you have to do? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. This is not like previous mergers. There was an issue way back when accounts that were made on, I think it was called Pro Cebian servers, where the agreement Daybreak Games had with that company, a lot of it was the Russian servers, ended. And there was a period where you had to actively do something to get your character copied onto a different server, or it just got deleted. Not like that. No issues here. Second thing, there were also mergers, like when Briggs merged, where you could go to Soltech or you could go to Connery, and you just got dumped onto Soltech if you didn't do anything. Not like that here either. This is a situation where you have all of your characters. Some of them might be on Emerald, some of them might be on Connery, and those characters will all be on the new server. Let's say Helios is the winner. It'll just say Helios then. So I have 3 characters on Emerald and 3 characters on Connery. That day you will automatically have 6 characters on the one server. So yes, that does mean for a lot of people you might have 2 TR on the server, 2 VS on the server, 2 NC. So some of them might be redundant. You may opt to abandon or delete one. My recommendation to you is pick your main right now, and as much as possible play on the server with the main characters you're going to use, whether that's Connery or Emerald. What's the deal with Soltech? Nothing has been announced for Soltech, and I don't think anything can be announced. I'm sure there's a lot of people there that would love to transfer their characters. Soltech has already sort of imploded since the Miller merge. A lot of those people moved to Miller. But if Toadman Daybreak Games went ahead and allowed people to transfer or merge characters in from a Japanese server to a European server, there'd be a lot of angst about that. Merging 2 North American servers is a reasonable ask. Yes, some players will complain about the ping on either end of the country, but critical mass is more important than having a few sparse servers of different US regions. Why no merger smash? There's no way you could get together a body of enough representative people of Connery to host one. Simple as that. When can the console transfer to PC? I don't see a way there could ever be to do a transfer, but I do think it would be reasonable to do some sort of character copy where they figure out your total experience, your battle rank, convert all of your stuff into certs and give you a massive cert pool to spend. I don't know if you could get all of your directives over. That's probably asking a little too much, but I do think they need to come up with some way for PlayStation people to copy a character onto PC so they can get started there easier. So, there you have it, fellow Araxians. The event is on. I will see you in 1 week to determine the new name of the combined North American servers. That is all, soldiers. I am Commander Cyrious, and until next time, I will see you Planetside.